So he says, look here, text, he says, in Deuteronomy 11, he says that this is how you're going to sustain in the land. If you carefully observe all these things I command you, he says, number one, love the Lord. Your number one duty, love God. If you don't do anything else, love God. Go to St. John chapter 14. Love the Lord. That's it. Love the Lord. Three things he said you got to do. Number one, love God. St. John chapter number 14. Verse number 15 says what? If you what? Do what? You're going to obey what I command. The first thing you got to do, you got to love God. How do I know you loving God? Because you're trying to find out what he wants so that you can live by what he wants. That's why I know who loves God. The ones that don't try to find out what God wants so they can live how he wants, you don't love God. You love God. God says, this is my love language. We talked about that the other week. My love language is do what I'm asking you to do. Do the things that make me happy. Do the things that make me happy. Number one, love the Lord. Now watch this. Number two, walk in his ways. Walk in his ways. Because what you do tells me how you love. Not what you say. Not what you say. What you do tells me how you love. Doesn't matter. See, one of the things that about relationships is that as males and females, we each have different proclivities. We each have different proclivities. Men tend to fall in love with what they see. Yes. That's why you can't come out the house looking any kind of way if you're looking for a husband. Yeah, comb your hair. Iron. The iron is your friend. The comb is your friend. Because men fall in love with what they see. They walking in the mall, they say, oh, They holding your hand and then, that's a whole nother thing. But here's women, you all fall in love with what you hear. Y'all fall in love with what you hear. Just let him say the right thing. If he has a silver tongue, some of you you'll forget how he looked. You ever seen a fine woman and you say, how did he get? Because women fall in love with what they hear. God said, I fall in love with what you do. Ooh. What you do for me makes me know that you love me. What you do for me makes me know that you care. It's not about what comes out of your mouth. It's not about the songs that you sing. It's not about how you dress. It's not about how you... God says, what do you do? What have you done for me? Ask your neighbor, what have you done for him lately? Yeah, I know you've been testifying about how he's been to you, but what have you done for him lately? I know you've been testifying about how he brought you out, but what have you done for him lately? I know he blessed you, but what have you done for? What have you done for him? What have you done for him? What are you doing in service for him? Yeah, I'm showing up on Sunday. You ain't doing nothing for him showing up on Sunday. He said, if you don't show up, if nobody shows up, I'll get some rocks to take your place. You showing up on Sunday ain't doing nothing for him. What are you doing in your service to him? What are you doing? What are you doing? I feel something about to break in this place. What are you doing for him? I came to church Sunday when I was off. I came to Wednesday when I was off. What are you doing for him? Listen. Lastly, he says, love the Lord, walk in his ways. Then he says, hold fast to him. He says, hold on to him. Genesis chapter number 2. He says, hold on to him. Hold on to God. Hold on. Yeah. See, you ever driven with somebody who drive real crazy, or you see those bumper stickers? Get in, shut up, hold on. Because it's going to be a crazy ride. The person who told you that this walk with God is not a crazy ride, they lied to you. Because sometimes God's got to put you in some crazy situations so he can show the world that he is God. And when it's a crazy ride, sometimes all you can do is get in it and hope. Oh. Hold on. Hold on. So the mothers, you say, just hold on and see what the end's going to be. Just hold on and see what the end's going to be. It may not look like much now, but you have to wait till God gets you to the end. Hold on to Jesus. Genesis 2:24. The Bible talking about a husband and wife. He says, for this reason, a man will leave his mother and be united with his wife. They will become one flesh. That united or cleave, that word means hold on. Hold on. He says, you're going to leave mother and father, and you're going to get with your wife, and you're going to become one. You got to become one with God. You got to become one with God. You got to be so connected with God. Have you ever seen a couple that's been together so long they start looking alike? Yeah, they've been together so long, they start looking alike. They start looking like each other. God says, I want you to be so connected to me that you and I just start looking alike. When people see you, they think they're looking at me. They see me because you're walking like me. You're talking like me. You're acting like me. You're living like me. You're showing me in everything that you do. Hold on to Jesus. Hold on until your breakthrough comes. Hold on until your miracle shows up. Hold on till you get the answer to your prayer. Hold on. He says, hold on. Then he says, and then, after you love the Lord, after you walk in his ways, after you hold on, then, woo, everybody say then. He says, then the Lord will. See, we want the Lord too, regardless of what we do. We want the Lord too, Bishop, regardless of what we do. He says, love me, walk in my way, and hold on, and hold me tight. He says, and then. Yeah, you know, there's some things that the person that's loving on you can do, and then you will. Uh-huh. Yeah. He says there's some things that you can do that will make me do some things for you. He says, then, listen, don't expect it till then. Then means that these three have to happen in order for this to happen. We want God to let us have whatever we want, but you got to do this first. You got to do this first. He says, then I will. When you expect God, when you love God, then. When you obey God, then. When you walk in God's way, then. When you do the things that show him you love him, then. When you stop being lazy around the kingdom, then. When you start walking and talking like him, then. Listen. It has always been when and then with God. Yeah, it has always been when and then with God. Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve. When they ate of the tree, then God cut them off. Always been when and then. Noah. When Noah built the ark, and after he finished the ark and he obeyed God, then God sent the flood. Abraham, when God gave him his son, and when he took him up to the mountain to sacrifice him, then God sent a ram in the bush. See, the ram in the bush showed up because Abraham did what God had said. So when Abraham did it, then the ram in the bush showed up. Listen, when Joseph was imprisoned in Potiphar's house, then the Lord sent the king a dream that only Joseph could interpret. Look at, when Jesus died on the cross, then the Lord sent redemption. God has always worked in when and then. And I want to tell you today that when you start doing the things that you know that God has declared that you should do, then God will release into your life the things that you're asking him to release. Then what, Pastor? Then what? He says, then the thing or the person coming against your destiny, he says, I'll drive them out of your way. He says, I will drive them out of your way. The word drive means to propel or carry along by force. And he says, I'm going to drive them. Oh, I wish I had something up here that I could show you. I'm going to drive them out of the way. In other words, there's some stuff in your life that does not want to move. There's some things in your life that don't want to let you go. There are some sicknesses that don't want you to ever feel like you're going to be healed. There are some things that don't ever want you to feel like you're going to be free. He said, but it's going to stand there like it doesn't want to be free, like it doesn't want you to be free. He says, and I will drive it. I'll drive it. It doesn't want to move. It doesn't want to move. It may fight back, but I am the Lord your God, and I have all power. I'll drive. Yeah. It says, I'll drive it. It's like playing football. You get up off that line. There's an offensive lineman, and you got to drive the defensive arm lineman off because he's trying to stop the run. And you got to drive him off his spot so that there's a hole for the running back to run through. There's some things that are trying to keep you from running on. But God said, I'm going to drive them off their spot so that you can run through and so that you can get to what it is that I'm calling you to. See, the deciding factor is not what's being driven, it's who's doing the driving. Woo! Look at somebody and say, Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, it's about who's doing the driving, and God is doing the driving. He says, I'll drive them. He says, I'll drive them out. He says, not only will I drive them out, he says, when you go into the land, you are going to dispossess people that are stronger than you. Oh, my God. I'm going to get happy real good by myself in a minute. You're going to dispossess people who are greater than you. See, they're stronger than you. They got more power than you. The sickness is stronger than you. The illness, the disease is stronger than you. He says, but when you come into your promise, he says, as long as you stay walking with me, you're going to dispossess the things that are stronger than you. With me, you're greater than them. Listen, with me, you're greater than them. Go to